Hey guys, what's going on today? We have a really exciting video for you. We are going to be answering your questions from the survey that we had sent out and a lot of you had responded to. And again, these are our opinions. You don't have to live and die by these answers. We'll just get right into it, right?
Yes, we have 2 previous videos to this though, where we also answered survey questions. We got a lot of good ones. We'll link the other 2 videos we did where we answered survey questions below in the description. So you can check those out if you want more of these type of videos. Okay, so this is a question about common things people will say that are bad about keto and how you can zing them back with a quick response. All that fat is unhealthy.
And we have to give the zing back?
Well, you don't have to give a zing back, but just like, what would you say to someone who says all that fat is unhealthy?
Asking where they got this information from. What do they think the fats we're consuming are? Like, yeah, fats in chocolate chip cookies. That's also like carbs mixed with the fat. That is, yeah, that's not great.
The thing is, people in America think high fat foods. They think like fried chicken, hamburgers, like with the bun and everything, right?
Yeah.
They just have like this association. I mean, the easiest sort of thing to maybe click in their mind would be like, we eat less fat now than ever, and we're fatter now than ever. It's just like Atkins.
You say it with a D, Atkins.
It's just like Atkins. I don't understand why people that do keto are like so opposed to it being like Atkins.
But then say how. And see if they even know the difference between keto and Atkins. Or do they just literally think it's Atkins with a different name?
I mean, it is similar to Atkins, which is also a good diet. So I don't really have a response to that. I'm just like, yeah, it is. It's a lot like that.
They are very similar.
But yeah, you can correct them and say it's higher in fat, so it makes it more sustainable. But I'm not sure they're even looking for that. They're just like looking to assert their dominance over you and be like, you're doing the Atkins, it's just repackaged. I mean, there's certain people that you can't really reason with.
Yeah.
And you have to quickly identify if the person you're talking to is one of those or not. What? You don't eat fruit? But I guess to that one, you would say, I do eat fruit sometimes.
Low carb fruits like berries.
I don't know. Like, you have conversations like this in your life. I've never really had this conversation.
But like, if I wasn't on a keto diet, like say I was just on a standard American diet, because when I was, I didn't eat fruit anyway. Like, I wasn't like grabbing the apple and the orange. I was still grabbing like the chips and the pretzels.
Yeah.
So if you said, I don't eat fruit, and you're on a standard American diet, are they still questioning like, what? You don't eat fruit? No, they're not.
I guess what this comes from is this idea, this is a modern idea too, the well-balanced diet, that you need tropical goods imported from the equator, you need salmon from Alaska, and then you just need like, rice from China, or where is rice grown? India. And you need all these things flown in from all over the world on a daily basis to be a healthy person. That's the frame of reference they're coming from. And it's hard to get them to this frame of like, no, you can just eat a handful of local foods and survive perfectly fine, like every other human being did throughout history. They're not really ready for that. They're so framed in just the current times that it's hard to really get that across in a conversation. But the essence of my response, I guess, would be like, I eat fruits sometimes, but fruits have been selectively bred over the last 200 years to contain maximal amounts of sugar, minimal amounts of nutrients. You're essentially eating something close to a candy bar now.
And you're forcing them to walk away at this point because they've checked out.
But what about healthy carbohydrates like whole grains and oatmeal? What about yogurt? It's so healthy for you.
What makes these things healthy? That's what I would ask. You gotta poke holes. You can't just be forced to defend yourself because, I mean, are they even listening? Are they even gonna take something out of it?
Yeah, I mean, grains are just a low-cost source of calories. What nutrients are contained in grains that I might not be getting from my diet? Let me know, like, what's going on here? Here's one for you. How do I not get preachy about keto to my kids and non-keto husband when the diet has helped me and would potentially help them?
Lead by example when it comes to your husband. And then when it comes to your kids, I would just make the options for snacks and dinners, like the alternatives, better options. So I wouldn't bring Doritos in the house. I would have like healthier alternatives to all the snacks that are out there. Or just like better quality ingredients if you're still gonna bring like certain chips or goldfish or whatever in the house.
And I don't really worry about getting preachy to Mega. I guess this is my only reference. Like, I get preachy with stuff, or if something's changing my life, I talk about it a lot to her.
Yeah.
And she's not always like, oh yeah, Bitcoin is the best thing. How do I invest? She's just like...
Which is what I did.
She'll at least entertain my conversation and like want to learn a little bit, but she's not necessarily going to do it.
Right.
But she'll listen. And that's really all you can ask for, I guess.
Yeah, you can't expect people around you to partake in it. But with your kids, you do have some control. And then with your husband, he's a grown adult. You just lead by example.
Can vegan keto be as healthy as a regular keto diet? No, it can't. And I don't think a vegan keto diet is good. So it can't be as healthy as a meat-based keto diet because you're missing all of the fat-soluble vitamins that are found only in meat. So there's the big ones like DHA and EPA. Those are found in seafood. Vitamin A in the animal form. To have the most healthy diet, you probably want to be eating plants and animals. What are you actually eating on a vegan keto diet? I guess coconut is a huge part of your life and avocados. I wouldn't do it personally. Are any desserts, even keto-friendly desserts, really keto? So this, I guess, goes to what you're defining as keto. To me, foods you can eat and your body be in a state of ketosis. That's a keto food.
Wait, they're saying, are any desserts actually keto?
Yeah, like are keto desserts actually keto?
We wouldn't be creating them otherwise, right?
So all the desserts we create for recipes, those are keto-friendly desserts. You can eat them and be in ketosis. If you go overboard with them, then maybe you'll have problems, of course. More of the downside with keto desserts is the palatability of them, not really it affecting ketosis. So you can just eat a lot of them.
And the carbs can add up in that sense with almond flour, coconut flour, things like that.
How to have more self-control. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Self-control is a deception, I would say, overall.
And it's a day-to-day grind. It's not like you just have it and then it's set.
There's things you can do to get self-control more in your favor, or like willpower, self-control. I guess they're kind of interchangeable. The biggest one that no one thinks about is sleep. The better sleep you get, the more self-control you have the following day. It's amazing how closely correlated the days you just fall off the wagon will be with having a terrible night's sleep.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the obvious one is not having those temptations in the house, not getting the, plus size jar of peanut butter if you know you're going to eat the entire thing.
Eliminate decisions. That's a big one. And write down some rules, some goals, things that you're going to live by. If your thing is maybe have a cheat day once a month, stick to that, live to that. You have to build up trust with yourself. Once you start breaking trust with yourself, it's hard to build it back up. Don't get me wrong, I love sweets, but why are the majority of keto recipes for desserts? What is up with that? I can't figure out how these big keto personalities stay so slim if that's all they are making. Obviously, they're not eating them. The reason is the free market. Most people want dessert recipes.
Yeah, to be completely honest, that's what people want. Because we've made fish recipes.
No one wants
two views.
Two views.
Me and Matt watching it separately.
The most viewed recipes on our website are breads and then desserts. Those two. Those are the two categories. Breads, desserts.
And those are the hardest things to replicate or to replace when you're transitioning, right? It's hard to give up your daily coffee cake with your coffee in the morning on your way to work or whatever, your Starbucks bagel or something. So if you can find a replacement and then slowly ease that out, then that's better than you trying to go cold turkey and really struggling.
I guess being somewhat principled, we always have a quota of every 3 recipes has to be a legitimate dinner or breakfast type of recipe that's actually just a meal that you can eat all the time. But we do have a fair bit of desserts and breads. But there are some people that just literally the only things they make are desserts and breads. Their entire food blog is that. And that's the best way to go if you're just driven by profit. And I don't know, what's the right answer? I guess I talk about this with myself a lot. If people want desserts and breads, shouldn't you just make desserts and breads, I guess? I don't know. You're trying to force feed people actual food when they don't want that.
Or give them both options, desserts and dinners. And that's what we try to do. Breakfast, lunches, we do all of it. Come for the dessert, stay for the dinner.
Exercise for keto obese beginners. KOBs? I guess the best.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah. I think the best exercise, depending on how big you are in your current exercise level, just walking. Walking in the fresh air. That's going to get you vitamin D, going to get you some nice fresh air. And also it's nice. You can put in headphones, you can find a podcast.
You used nice so many times right there.
You can stroll around the neighborhood and you can really think big picture about some things.
So basically it's really nice.
But then you can also do Couch to 5K. That's a really good subreddit and a program that you can follow. It gets you from doing 0 exercises to running a 5K.
And then there's a lot of online sites, bodybuilding.com. Matt, you've mentioned Nerd Fitness. I've never actually looked it up, but it's great for beginners. But also just using the machines in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Like it tells you exactly how to use the machine and what body parts it's working. Don't be scared to look at those pictures. I even look at those pictures sometimes because I'm like, what exactly are the primary and secondary muscles this machine is working? Getting started, I think, is the hardest. But once you get the ball rolling, you'll feel really good about it.
How to deal with all the negativity about the keto diet. All the keto bashing and hatred for the diet blows my mind. It makes me angry. I can't deal with it. I guess I'm looking for the best way to deal with uneducated people who think they know everything about the diet, yet think they know nothing. That is a personal problem. That's not an other people problem.
I mean, a lot of the hate maybe you're getting could be projection, people's insecurities. So if you're like, burger with no bun, and then someone's like, oh, no bun. Look at
over
you,
here.
Cheryl. Yeah, that's straight insecurity. You just gotta brush that off. You're doing you, you're a grown adult, let them do them.
You gotta rise above this. Yeah, it makes you angry. You can't deal with it. So those are things you personally have to work on.
I mean, do you have a therapist? This is something I would address.
The world is not going to always fit your narrative. You can't try changing the world. You can change yourself.
And the way you think about things. Don't let other people, control your emotions.
This was a funny one. How does this survey really benefit your marketing plan? Ideally, everything that benefits us benefits you. That's the whole idea behind it. But how does it benefit our marketing plan? I mean, we're going to create graphics that are shareable. So then maybe a person who's never heard of Keto Connect, they see this graphic and they're like, oh, what's Keto Connect? Let me check that out. The dining guide.
People will share that.
Yeah, we're going to have that on our website. I think that will be just super useful. I don't think anything like it exists. So it tells you if you go to a certain US city, what are the best keto options from restaurants in that city. And then to be able to get that, you just have to give us your email on our website. So then we can then email you a weekly newsletter type of a thing. Standard marketing procedure. But I think in general, most things that benefit us will benefit you. That's kind of the idea behind businesses, right? The more you benefit people, the more money you make. No time to exercise. Things to do instead. Walk faster. Flex. Those sounds dumb, but does any of those type of tricks work?
You have time to exercise. That's the first thing I'm going to say.
Yeah. You're a human being. How are you not prioritizing your body? The thing that propels you around this planet.
You're going to just stand in front of the TV and flex? What about instead of watching TV, go to the gym and lift some weights?
You may think to yourself, you don't have time to work out. Time spent in the gym, it creates more time throughout the rest of your life. So you can't put in 1 hour today to work out because you have to take care of your 6 kids. That's probably a big one. I have no time. I have 6 kids I'm responsible for.
Or you're a medical professional.
Or you're a CEO.
Yeah, something like that.
By doing the 1 hour workout, you will be more productive with your 6 kids.
100%. More positive, just your overall positive energy, your positive thinking.
You have time for what you're prioritizing. Our entire lives we have been told eating healthy is pretty much the opposite of what keto is. How would you explain to a loved one that keto is healthy eating?
Whole foods is where I'd start. Examples of things you were eating. Maybe you were eating pretzels with your sandwich for lunch. I cut out pretzels and, the packaged bread from the store, and now I'm eating a steak and veggies with some grass-fed butter or some normal butter or coconut oil. I think most people, keto or not, they see the pretzels and sandwich side by side, a steak and broccoli with some coconut oil. They're gonna pick the steak and broccoli as healthier, right?
I think so.
I would think so.
I'm not sure though. People really oddly think a Subway sandwich and chips is a good lunch.
Keto's been sort of demonized, right, in the public eye. And think about Jillian Michaels, who's just thrown out the word telomeres and then your parents panic. So you have to give them some perspective.
Good callback.
Thanks. Make it easier for them to digest.
Yeah, a lot of these questions seem to be about convincing others that what you're doing is right.
You just have to worry about yourself.
Yeah. We don't need to be told what to eat by some governing body that's oh, you need your 12 servings of grains. It's whatever is around you geographically, you can make that work. Humans lived all over the globe. They just ate local foods to survive and thrive.
But even that's a little complex. I think about my dad. If I said that to him, he'd be like, oh, but wheat thins are good for you. They're delicious. Or fries are not going to kill you.
Yeah, they're not going to kill you. That's for sure.
But some people aren't even hearing what you're saying. But when I tell my dad, yeah, I had a steak for lunch, he's like, oh, good job. He's proud of that because to him also, he knows that a steak is healthy for you. He also thinks a Subway sandwich is very healthy for you. So either way I go, I think he'll be proud.
You just have a good dad. That's a takeaway. Find a better dad. When will we see prices reduced for sweeteners, flours, etc.? Are other manufacturers going to start to produce these items to bring down the prices? This is a great question, and we actually, when we did that Let's Argue Keto Products Are a Good Thing video, a lot of people were saying how overpriced they are. And I think it's just a lack of understanding that actual food costs money. It costs more money than processed carbs. Processed carbs are the cheapest foods with the highest markups.
Yeah.
So in comparison to those foods, they do cost a lot more. It's because you're getting a lot more in return. You're getting more nutrition. But will we see prices reduced? Probably not like to a huge degree. Almonds are like pretty expensive.
I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, if you can't afford them, also, as Matt said, for good reason. And then the sweeteners, like liquid stevia is pretty pricey. Liquid monk fruit is pretty pricey.
No, stevia is not that pricey.
It's pricey when you first buy it, but then you realize how long it lasts you because it's concentrated.
I think it's cheaper than sugar for the amount of sweetness you get from it.
Those were the questions. Those were our answers. Let us know down below if you disagree with anything, or maybe you have some other pressing questions. We'll try and get to those as well in another video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.